top 3 baits for fishing in the fall for bass. Now that's simple for me. I'm going topwater, shallow crankbait, and Ned rig. Now let me explain each one of those. If I'm fishing a lake that's got grass or has a lot of bait fish action that you can see, a topwater walking bait, like this Spro bait right here, is gonna be something that I'm gonna go for I can cover water, fish are gonna be drawn to the bait. They're feeding up. They're feeding up for the fall. They're feeding upwards on the bait fish. So a topwater to me is like a really natural choice. Number 2, shallow crankbait fishing. Now if I'm fishing lakes that have sparse grass or no grass at all, that's really when I'm gonna lean more heavily on a shallow crankbait like the Baby Fat John. I'm getting back in those shallow, flat areas that are gonna be occupied by bait fish. If you could see any kind of isolated cover like a log, some rocks, things like that, you wanna try to bang that crankbait off of the cover. That's what's gonna trigger those bass to bite it. It will also work around grass as well. You can bang it and rip it out of the grass. That's another way to trigger strikes. So last but not least, the Ned rig. The Ned rig has gotten hugely popular for bass thanks to Mr. Ned Cady himself. Midwest finesse tactic is what he calls it. I call it the Ned rig because it's fun to say and it honors Ned Cady, but the Ned rig works in grass lakes, it works in non-grass lakes. It really shines in the fall, because in the fall they're keying on those bait fish, and you can take a lighter weight in the fall, somewhere between a 1/16 and an 1/8 ounce. It's a little Missile Baits Ned Bomb. Of course, the Finesse TRD from Z-Man's kind of the thing that put the whole technique on the map. Whatever you use, I like bait fish patterns in the fall. I'm going to be throwing around anywhere that I see some bait fish action. You want to throw it out there. Just lift your rod, let that bait glide back to you, reel up your slack, and do it again, and you'll catch plenty of fish. So those are my top 3 baits for fishing for bass in the fall.